It's an early sports today, obviously, because FIFA will get a new president today when some 207 delegates from around the world gather in Zurich, Switzerland, to vote for a successor to Sepp Blatter. But how significant is today's election? In charge of world football's governing body since 1998, Blatter, 79, said last year he was standing down amid a growing corruption crisis. Now 5 candidates want to replace him, but who would get the nod? That's why my colleague George Addy Jr. is joining me, very familiar with the 5.
Yeah, very familiar with them, yes, of course.
Africa backed one of them.
Yes, Africa backed Sheikh Salman, who is the head of the Asian Confederation. And you're wondering why Africa didn't back, Tokyo Sexwale, who is actually a South African and an African. But we've heard from CAF's executive committee that they decided to go for Salman because they think he's the right man. But there's a little background to all of this. Blatter has been the darling boy of Africa. And so anyone who is closely related to Blatter, and with this respect, we're talking about Sheikh Salman, who's been working very closely with Blatter. So it didn't come to anyone as a surprise that Africa will go for will go for Salman. And because Africa has the majority of the votes in 54 votes, if Africa is voting as a bloc, as we expect, then, Salman is like the new FIFA president because he's going to get a 54 plus whatever he gets from Asia, which is about 53. He could get about 32 because he is in charge of the Asian Federation, and maybe get 1 or 2 from Europe and then from the Americas. It looks very much like Salman should be the man. But we are not too sure this time if Africa is going to vote as a bloc, because we've heard some heads of federations here in Africa come out to say they won't go according to what CAF has said. Okay,
let's talk about our own federation. Who is Nyantechi voting for? Has he said anything?
Nyantechi has said he said it this morning. He said he's voting for Salman straight away, and he thinks that he's the best man. So Kwesi Nyantechi is going for Salman, and he's expecting that all the federations here in Africa would also go alongside. But Liberia's head of the Football Federation, that's Bility, has said that he is not going to be voting for Salman.
Okay.
And he's also said that he knows about 26 other heads of federation in Africa who are not going to be voting for Salman. If that happens, then it means that Prince Ali probably might come into this, because you're looking at those who are leading and who the favorites are. You talk about Salman, hugely because he has Africa's 54 votes, according to what CAF is doing. And then you talk about Gianni Infantino. He is the former General Secretary of FIFA, of UEFA. And then he is the man who was put in there because Platini was, banned. And so the whole of Europe are supporting him. That's how come Gianno and it was named Salman are the key guys there. Hitherto, it was Prince Ali, because he stood alongside Blatter and had 73 votes. But things have not gone too much well for him, because he's more become like a crybaby, and he didn't want an injunction on all of this. So at this point, he's going to get his support really from America, which is just not enough. So unless we have any surprises, it should be easy that Sheikh Salman should win this one.
But I know, one of the key things that particularly the Europeans are looking forward to is more like a new FIFA, because of all of the allegations. So more of, let's repackage FIFA so that people would love it, like the way we used to love FIFA. If you have Sepp Blatter backing you, would that be a good thing? Because Sepp Blatter seems to be the evil now.
And that's the problem. That's just the problem here, because they're looking for change. And not sure the change is going to come. Because when you take FIFA is made up of 209, 207, because 2 are currently suspended, you have 207. But these 207 are national federations. That's where the football itself manifest, if I want to put it. Now you are just seeking to change the head of the FIFA. It doesn't really change anything, because the same associations are there. They know themselves. They'll be voting. The day-to-day things would just be the same.
But I know that there are some key reforms that they want to arrive at, even before they cast.
Yes, even before, and those are good. And the only good thing about all of this is that we probably, on the scale of 1 to 100, I think we moved maybe 50%, because the ethics committee of FIFA has become very strong. Because if they were able to ban Blatter and Platini, who were then in charge, then they'll be able to do anything, with anyone who comes in now. That's the good thing that we have now. That's just the only plus. But as to whether all these reforms will trickle down and will have the effect here in Ghana, like for instance, will we see the Ghana Football Association go according to some of these things? Well, it's very difficult, because all these federations also have their sovereignty. They can decide what to do. They are not obliged to go according to what FIFA is doing. So it's here and there.
I get it. But George, you know, realistically, I know you're like the fireman's son. Is it football a play or is money?
The truth is, they don't want us to say unless you have evidence, but a bit of money would also go. I think a bit of money will exchange hands because you need to convince them. And convincing these guys is like there's a big party for them. So when they go out there, if you can convince me and tell me that yes, you can vote for me and I can add something there. We've had some of them go out and say, I will give you this amount of money. That's what Gianni Infantino said. I will give you this amount of money. So when you vote for me, this happens. This says I will ensure that it's bargaining anyway. And unless you can come up with the evidence, and that's the problem with us really.
Okay.
And as we speak, they started talking about the reforms, and guess who is heading all of this? Issa Hayatu is talking about 2 terms when he has been in charge for close to 48 years.
Hopefully they don't take any pictures of him sleeping. George Adejenia with some great analysis. We're told that the voting is likely to get underway some 13 hours GMT. More updates on the spot update here on Joy News. Stay with us. When we come back is the state of the nation. Our concentration is on energy and health.